It all seems good. They'll just make Skype shut up. And make Steam shut up. Somehow. They have to go to friends first.
Good, you're awake. I'm gonna wake Jesse home for about a half hour.
Okay. Now then. Okay. Press space. Headphones, turn off the lights. Remember that point was finding myself alone. What? Oh, come on! I can't even scroll the text. Oh, I have to press down. Oh my head, where was I? It was so dark. There was something by my feet. A flashlight. This is home. What happens in this game is entirely up to what you do. From what I hear anyway. Where was I? There was a body lying on the floor. Who was it? I didn't recognize his face. He was so kind of warm. Really. We got a murder mystery on our hands. Totally not superstitial at all. Ooh, what's this? The desk had a computer and some papers on it, in a single drawer. I didn't want to snoop, but did I open the drawer? Of course you did. Receipts, pens, and a blurry photo. Looks like a store of some kind. Why did this look so familiar? The hell's this? Blood on the wall. It smelled fresh and sickening. I realized there was blood on my shoes and pants. Oh man. I had to get out of there. It's fresh. The murderer's probably still here somewhere. I noticed that I limped as I moved down the stairs. How did I hurt my leg, I wondered. All I could really recall was coming home. Seeing Rachel, I was upset. She looked afraid. I shook my head and tried to clear it. I knew I should head downstairs, try to find a way out. This is a very story-driven horror game, by the way. The bookshelf was full of books on local history and hunting. Anything else? It seemed like the owner of the house really knew the area. There were scribbles of all kinds on random scraps of paper and notes about some kind of water tower. Did he mean the one by the old train yard? The water tower. What? Nothing here? An old dining table covered in dirty dishes for 2 people. There were dozens of beer cans and other liquor bottles along the dishes. The smell was turning my stomach. What's this? A black and white photo. Looked like the man upstairs and his wife, I guessed. There's no reason for me to keep this. Did I take it? Of course you did. I slipped the photo in my pocket. Maybe this would help me find some answers. I sure hope it does, whatever the hell your name is. What's that? A thin gray mouse was stuck in a trap. It looked frantic but exhausted. Did I free it? Of course. Poor thing. The hell's that? Huh. Oh, you can like put the light up to see what's on the ceiling. I like the Resident Evil style doors. You never know if something's going to be what. A collection of rusty tools. These look like they've seen a lot of use, and were caked in damp-smelling dirt. Why weren't they in a shed? Can I take any? This was an odd place to keep yard tools. What would they have been used for in here? Maybe murder. A photo similar to the old one I picked up. It had been moved a lot. There seemed to be a switch behind it. I pushed the switch. It depressed smoothly into the wall. I heard a faraway click somewhere. Well, wait, was this old blood on them? That couldn't have been in the murder weapon then. The body's still warm and the blood is semi-fresh. So I believe I've checked both ways now. Yep. Too bad I can't skip text. The water tower. We gotta find out what's there. It's a mirror. I looked like hell. My clothes were dirty and torn, and there was mud caked all over my shoes. Had I been sleepwalking again? Was that how I got to that house? He sleepwalks? The front door was blocked by a pile of furniture. I knew I had to find another way out. Damn it. So much for the easy way out. Whoa, what was that? Someone closed the door. The door was taped up and locked. I couldn't get through. By the smell, I guess it led to the kitchen. Oh god. That switch in the wall worked. The door had been unlocked. Okay. The box looked heavy, but there were marks on the floor. It had obviously been moved before. Maybe I had found a way out. I must have moved it, right? I heaved the box forward and it finally gave. I get the feeling we won't be able to come back after that. I don't know. Was there anything else? I don't think so, no. Guess we're going down that ladder, although I really don't want to. Why was there no sound on that door? There was a ladder going underground, where the box was. A dank smell rose from the passage. Did I climb down the ladder? Yes, we have to get to the bottom of this. I looked again at the photo I found in the house. The couple looked distant, like they didn't want to be in the same picture. I wondered where the wife was. My leg was in terrible shape, but I had to get out. Footprints in the dirt. Looked like more than one kind, and a lot of traffic. Whatever this place was, it was obviously used a lot. It was an old map of the town. Places all over were marked. The industrial area near the river, various houses, and even the water tower near the old radio station. The guy upstairs must have done this. But what was his interest in the water tower? Newspaper clippings from the local newspaper. They were all about murders in town over the last few years. Wait, there were photos. Photos of our house! What the hell was that about? Maybe I should have looked around more, tried to find some kind of information. I looked everywhere. A work table covered in papers, dirt, and a handgun. I hated guns. I didn't take it, did I? No, we hate guns. You want to touch the thing. Better left it right where it was. The desk looked old. It was caked with grime. On it was a stack of old, faded paper, covered with what looked like names. They were scratched out in legible notes, written beside them in faded blue ink. I could only make out a few letters. Not even gonna try. None of it made any sense to me. Found nothing yet. Oh god, what's this place? There looked to be bones half dug into the ground, and the remains looked old. The faded clothes that stuck up amongst the dirt looked familiar. They looked like the clothes that woman was wearing in the photo I found. Was this the man's wife? We found the wife, possibly. It's a ladder. Some kind of homemade rack slung together with poorly cut wooden rope. It was caked with old blood. Somebody did actually use that, did they? Rusted hooks, like the kind you'd find in a butcher, hung from the ceiling. They looked pitted and worn from heavy use. That man upstairs, did he do this? Crudely made shelves. They looked like they were holding cans of some kind of corrosive. The labels are worn and slick, but I could still see the warnings. It looked like a cage. It was small, but there was something coating the bottom. Something wet. That place was getting worse all the time. I knew I had to keep moving. Some kind of old boxes. They look like they were years old. Wait a minute. These boxes had old clothes in them. Clothes I remembered throwing out after Rachel and I moved to town. What the hell were they doing there? If I was scared before, I was terrified now. Why were there photos of our house there? And these clothes? Was that why I was there? I checked my back pocket and realized my wallet was missing. Did I come to the house, or did somebody bring me? Oh no. Sounds like a rat. Oh! Jeez, I jumped slightly. Bats. Bats in every game, even this game. I remember noticing the broken ladder. I had to be careful. Do we need something to get past the broken ladder? What's this? There was a rope hanging there. I wasn't sure how sturdy it was. Did I take it? Yes. Maybe the rope would make that broken ladder easier to descend. I see that. What? There was whispering over there. I had the rope now. There must have been a use for it around somewhere. Not staying in that room. Nope. The rope I found would have let me climb down the broken ladder safely. Did I climb down? Yes. We got down safely, but I don't know if we can back up. I can hear a faint hum and the smell from before started to get worse. A bunch of old newspapers, wheat pasted together. A message had been hastily smeared on it. Keep out. Danger due to cave in. That's not ominous at all. Doors are different. My hands tingled from the burn of sliding down that rope. I was lucky I found that. Who knows what would have happened if I had jumped down. Still, it was all I could do to not have rushed out of that awful place. That rack. Those terrible tools. What the hell was going on back there? The metal door groaned as I leaned into it, causing my heart to skip a beat at the sound. As I peered ahead into the dark of the next room, I worried that I should have taken that gun I saw. But me, with a gun? Tomfoolery! Let's not hang around the vent for long. There was dirt on the ground. It looked wet, and there was grass smeared within it. I could hear a faint trickling sound like water. What was that? Exit? Hell yes. There was a rusty ladder sunk into the water, which smelt disgusting. I knew I couldn't climb down that. Maybe I could find a way to drain the putrid water. Well, shit. It's hard to see over there. I see a red pipe and an orange pipe. Maybe that has something to do with a puzzle here. A kitchen knife covered in drying blood. Thinking about made me sick. I didn't even want to touch it. I take the knife. We need a weapon. Somehow the knife seemed a better idea than the gun in that tunnel. Oh god, that was a loud bang. Here's an orange pipe. The door's locked. There's a musty smell from inside. I wasn't sure, but I thought it was some kind of regulator. I had no idea how it worked. Through the dust, I could see handprints from previous use, probably from whoever worked in the sewers. I thought I could turn this water valve to shut off its flow. Did I turn it? Yes. I turned off the water flow in this valve. I thought I could turn this water valve to shut off its flow. Did I turn it? Sure. The valve was still active. Did I turn it again? Looks like I turned off the water flow in this valve. I thought I could turn this water valve to shut off its flow. Did I turn it? It was still active. Did I turn it again? I have a bad idea about that. I have a bad feeling about this. One of these is going to cause something to happen. Shut off its full. Whoa. Did I turn it? Yes. I don't hear anything else. Let's go check out the exit and hope nothing's there. This room is still locked for some reason. Yes! I can go down to the exit now. What was that? What was it? Oh. It looked like the water drained out of that grate in the wall. Oh, jeez. That's the grate. The smell didn't improve much, and the room is damp. The safety poster had definitely seen better days. How old was that facility? The door is locked. I could see a faint light within. Oh god. That's where he is, isn't it? What the hell? What the hell? I found another dead body, a sewer worker. By the wounds all over his face and body, I figured he'd been stabbed repeatedly. There was a key ring sticking out of the man's pocket. Did I take it? Yes. I thought about the knife I'd found with some disgust as I carefully picked the keys from his pocket. I was almost worried he was going to grab me. I was feeling even more sick from seeing another dead man. I didn't want to get any more blood on my clothes. There was a security camera in the room. There must have been a way to see what happened. Interesting. What do you think? Should we go back to one of the two left doors? Or continue through this door? Let's backtrack a bit. I'm curious about that light. This is probably a terrible idea. Terrible idea. A shelf full of security tapes was strictly organized, though covered in dust. Must have been old if they were still using VHS. Odd, one of the tapes was missing. The security desk was dusty, and there was a dusty, dirty coffee cup there. The VCR looked like it still worked. So we need to find the security tape. I could smell a hint of fresh air here. I was anxious to leave, but I couldn't help wonder what the key unlocked. No, we gotta get to the bottom of this mystery. We have to get to the bottom of this. Even if it costs us our lives. If I can just remember where that door was that unlocked before. That was locked before. I believe it's just to the right here. I think. Here. I tried a bunch of the keys on the keyring I found in that sewer worker. One of them seemed to fit. Fuck, what is that? Stale liquor bottles covered the floor. The wall was littered with dozens of old faded newspapers. Who did this was obsessed with some local murders. According to some of the clippings, bodies had been found in ravines, in the forest, in one case, dumped in the back of an abandoned truck. I couldn't be sure, but thought some of these same articles had also been pasted up back in those tunnels. A faded receipt was half trampled on the floor. It's from the local train station. It was for 2 tickets. I know what use it could be, but I keep the receipt? Yes. I neatly folded the soiled receipt and slipped it into my front pocket. We found that receipt. Oh, there's one more area to check. No, not yet. It was a ladder to the left of the exit. Oh, fuck. I just have this bad feeling. Something's gonna happen. We're gonna find the killer. He's still here somewhere. Disgusting. It was a mess of filthy garbage bags. There were rips and tears in most of the bags. What looked like an old videotape was sticking out. Can I take the tape? Yep. I wasn't sure what I hoped to discover with the tape, but I took it anyway. I just hope we didn't take too long with this. Now we have to go down back to the exit. Maybe the killer was catching up to us all this time in transitioning rooms. I can think of a few games that have done that. If you take too long in the game, you're fucked. I think this was the door. Yes, here's where we can watch the tape. I hope the killer doesn't sneak up on us. Yes, play the tape. Showed a man right there in the sewers being attacked. The tape looked fuzzy and stretched, like somebody had tampered with it. It looked like there could have been two men. I couldn't stand to watch that video again. We need to get out of here. Yeah, that was the other. That's where we found the keys. I hear machines. What am I hearing? My sore leg and the soiled knife I carried in my boot weighed heavily upon my mind. I made my slow progress up the line at the thought of that videotape. Though still gave me chills. Who was it that didn't want to be seen? Was it the same person that hid all those newspaper clippings? Away in that locked room? Part of me almost wished I would never find out. Oh. To reach the top of the ladder, I found a latch above it and tactlessly popped it open. Suddenly, the awful smell that the sewer gave way to the dank pine trees. Oh no! We're being watched. We are being watched. We are being watched, Jesse. Oh no, the killer's still here. The old ladder leading up to an ancient water tower. That needed to be extended so I can climb it. Extend the ladder? Yes. I popped the latch and brought the ladder down. We must find out what's in that water tower. In a patch of smeared dirt and grass, there was a beat-up wallet. I thought it was mine. I take it. I folded the wallet and returned it to my back pocket. It looked nicked up somehow and really worn. There weren't any of the cards or ID in it. I thought I should recover my credit card and driver's license at least. From the railing, I could see over the woods, down to the entrance of the sewers. Had I come through there before? If I did, someone definitely could have seen me. The rusty door was locked tight with an old padlock. Faded sign on the door warned about some kind of train yard. It must have referred to the town's only train station. It didn't look like I'd be able to get through there at all. Check it again. Aw, there's no second thing in text. We're still being watched. This must have been the entrance of the forest that was mentioned on that map I had seen. Whoever was poking around those tunnels underneath that man's house had scribbled notes on this place, but I couldn't make them out. Here the sign pointed out various campsites and walking paths within the woods. It mentioned a river and maybe a washroom, but the rest was too faded to see clearly. What the hell? Oh. Go through the bushes. I almost wished I had paid more attention to those crazy scribblings. Maybe I would have been less nervous about entering that dark forest. What's this? Trampled into the dirt and grass with a plastic card of some kind. Brushed it off and surprised to see it was my credit card. Wasn't sure if it was still usable, but it was mine. Take back my credit card? Pocketed the credit card. Hopefully I could find my driver's license too. Through the fence, I could see it. Diddle-plated outbuilding. I wonder if I could find my way around. I heard someone moving through the bushes. There's a fire pit there. It was still a bit warm and a few embers were still burned at the bottom. Was someone else out in those woods? Why did they abandon their campsite? Oh, I looked at the wrong thing. 2 folding camping chairs were on the ground. One was knocked over. There were a couple of cans of beer spilled on the ground. The cheap dome tent slept 2 people. I shone my flashlight inside and could see some bedrolls. 2 backpacks and a cooler. What the hell? Ramsing had a small patch in it that looked almost clean. Rusty wood plank propped at the stall door. Didn't really seem useful. Did I bother to take it? Sure why, but I took the plank. Adventure game characters can carry everything. You just have to know the pack. What am I gonna use the plank for? Was someone else out in those woods? Oh, we're back here.
Use it for a fire. Wood.
Oh, we're back here. I heard something to the right of me. The hell's this? There were some personal effects shoved back into the rock. Wait. There's a notebook there too. Better read it. Inside the cheap dollar store notebook was page after war and page of names and lists. None of it made much sense. The newest page contained several names. Rachel? Her name was last on the list and had a mark beside it in blue ink. The names Delphine and Ava had been crossed out in the same blue ink. Heather and Rose had also been crossed out, but these marks looked older and more faded. So we found the killer's handbook. His list of murders. Wouldn't surprise me. I have no idea. Let's go this way now. A dry old picnic table sat lonely amongst the trees. It had carvings and marks from years of previous campers. So I tried to read some of the names and the marks. I idly thumbed the knife I'd found from my pocket. If I wanted to, I could have carved something on that table. Did I? No. The few crowed strokes, simple design to the wood. R plus H. I felt like a teenager defacing the table. I thought I picked no. The plank I found was long enough to form a crude bridge. Wasn't sure if it would hold. Did I use it? It held. Two bodies, two young women, half dug into a hastily shallow grave below between the trees. The younger-looking one was still face up, her dead eyes gleaming against my flashlight. They deserve better than that. Did I clean up the gravesite? I tried to cover them up a bit more. I closed the younger woman's eyes. I fashioned a crude marker. I wasn't sure why, but I felt I had to do something. Interesting so far. Yes, you did. Thank God it held. What am I missing? I'm missing a pass somewhere. Oh, Jesus fuck. Let's not go there right now. Guess I have to. What am I missing? That campfire again. I'm getting kind of confused. The sign was the same as the first one I had seen. This must have been the exit to the other side of the woods. So we found it. I'd finally found the exit. So I left. I knew I would never wanted to return there. Through the dense trees, I could finally start to see some light. Must have been at the edge of the forest, though I wasn't sure where the path ahead of me led. I could almost feel the cryptic notebook in my pocket as I tried to think about what it could mean. And where were the campers who had abandoned their site? Would I meet them too? If the path ahead of me was less dense, I still felt guard and wary. Who knew what was ahead? As I stepped through the gate, Suddenly recognized the auto parts factory where I had worked as a machinist for all those years.
Do you know what?
The plant had closed almost 3 years ago now. Times were better then. I thought I could hear a faint rustling behind me. Maybe it's just the wind. One of the lockers hung open. Its contents were tossed around, like someone had been looking for something. The door was locked shut. A sign was pasted to the front that said, "Danger, closed for repairs." I didn't think it could be opened. There was a large power box with 5 lights on it. Cables burst out of the box, sneaking off to other parts of the factory. The metal was starting to wear and cobwebs had collected on the corners. The box wasn't receiving power. The door was locked tight. It seemed to be connected to the power box beside it. Every part of this plant smelled old and rotted. I noticed the old bulletin board on the wall. The board contained yellowed clippings of newspaper cartoons and notices. There were notes to and from the guys that worked there. One of them was the Norman, who was one of the older guys on the line. The power panel. Looked like it was shut off. I pushed the switch. Locker was stuffed with dirty work clothes and work boots. There was a photo of a woman taped to the inside that was scratched out. The face was unrecognizable. Huh. Interesting so far, really. It was shut tight. There was a rusty looking card slot on the side. Shit. We need to gotta find a card key inside this building. One's green, one's red. I just noticed that. Panels seem to be working again. Really. Awesome. Not that there's any power going to it. Our old break table. The layer of dust and grime only made seeing this sting worse. Boarded door. Boarded up. No second text, no. Still one more door over here. Boxes everywhere. This was Norman's locker. Someone punched it. I remember doing that wouldn't work there. Another panel that I hoped could help me get the power back on. Push the switch. Great, this one was working. Utility shelf, crammed with mismatched tools and items. There was a claw hammer on the shelf. I take the hammer. So I took the hammer. It wasn't as dusty as the rest of the tools on the shelf. The locker was a complete mess. Hidden at the bottom, though, was a magnetic card. Take the card? Yes. I slipped the key card into my pocket. Another panel that I hope would help me get the power back on. Damn it. Come on. Yay! How many more? Come on. I hear something. Too bad there's no lights anywhere. Did everyone carry flashlights to work or something? Jeez. I can see what's behind this door. Moved the planks. I left the hammer on the floor. This was my locker. There in the factory. It stank of booze. There was a picture of Rachel on the inside. It looked like it had been torn up. I thought I'd taken that picture home when the factory closed. The floor was littered with old liquor bottles. I wonder if that man in the house had something to do with this. He sure had a lot of alcohol in this place. So now that we have a key card, we can go back to that one door. Wherever it was. Is it here? Yes. It works? Is it because the power's back on? I don't know. There was some kind of ventilation hatch there. It looked like I could jump to the room below. Well, I heard enough as it was, but I couldn't see another option. Can I jump? I was too chicken to jump down that broken ladder before. Why do it now? There had to be another way. Not right now. Not right now.
Not this exact second, but as he suggested, breakfast for supper, but I don't have anything to cook it. So I'd like some sausages and hash browns or hash brown patty
We'll do it later.
and eggs. Well, not too much later, it's already after 6:30.
Power box looked like it was running again. The power box working again? The door was unlocked. Did I go through? A rack of flashlights on the wall. One of them was missing. My head ached terribly as I closed the door behind me. I saw the wooded path beyond the light of the factory. Still, it was better than that stuffy, foul-smelling room I'd found. Who would have used the old locker room? Someone was obviously going up there, but it didn't make any sense. If I could reach town from there, maybe I could find Norman's store. It was close to one of the main roads. Maybe he could help. The hell? My pickup had smashed into the guardrail. It's silent. Was this the truck that those newspaper clippings mentioned? Was there really a body found here? Look at those eyes. What will we find next? It's getting interesting now. The garbage bin was a disgusting mess of food and slick black bags. I saw a thin greenish corner poking out from one of the bags. It's my driver's license. It looked damaged. Pick it back. Yeah. Card off as best I could. It looked pretty beat up. I was amazed to have found my credit card, and now this. Tuck the card into my wallet next to my credit card. Sounded like it was going to start raining again. I had to enter Norman's place. This was the back of the store that he ran. It was oddly quiet, except for the faint sound of a television. What the hell? One of Rachel's old autumn coats hung on a rack. That was Norman's bedroom, wasn't it? What was this doing here? It was Norman all along? There was a well-maintained gun cabinet here in Norman's room. I didn't know much about guns, but it looked like he kept a few hunting rifles, maybe even a few pieces he should have. One of the guns was missing. What the fuck? Oh no. The TV still flickered some indecipherable channel. What? His face and shirt were covered in blood. It looked like he'd been stabbed or something trying to get up. His eyes were still wide with shock. Norman, what was Rachel doing here? Why did you have her coat? Norman, maybe you deserved better. You probably did. Did I close its eyes? Closed his eyelids down, shuddering as I did so. Wasn't sure if I wanted to give him peace, or I just couldn't stand to think anymore about what was going on. Maybe it wasn't Norman. Why was there a coat here? Water rings for 2 cups still in the wood. What? The kitchen trash bin smelled fresh. I didn't dig through that mess, did I? Why the hell not? I found a hairpin amongst the rotting food and trash and pocketed it. That could be handy. Pick a lock or something. Poor Norman. What is going on here? I'm starting to think what may be really happening here. I'm not going to say it though. Yep, pick the lock. The general store was small, but it was clean. It had the usual things: postcards, snacks, magazines, and canned goods. Never went there much. Rachel used to stop by after work if we needed anything. The register was mostly empty, and a fat stack of travel magazines sat beside it. The ice block seemed to be unplugged. It must have been off for a while. Most of its contents were half melted. There were various postcards from the area, especially from the tourist traps. One of the postcards showed an old black and white photo of the water tower. It looked to be in much better shape then. What else would I be forced to endure before the end? Seeing Norman up there, dead, it turned my stomach just to think of it. I couldn't put it out of my mind. How was he involved in all this? This was getting worse and worse. I was starting to feel incredibly vulnerable. As I stepped out into the rain, I realized how close I was to home. I hoped I would soon find my answers. It was locked. This wasn't the right gate. The gate was locked tight. This wasn't my house. That's it. The neighborhood's local post box. A letter was sticking out, as if someone hadn't pushed it in all the way in. I knew it wasn't right, but did I look at the letter? There was no return address. The envelope was addressed to Norman. Carefully, I tore it open and looked at the letter. Inside, it read, "Stay away, she's mine." That was it. No signature, no other information. What? Holy shit. I should start checking these gates. That one's blocked. This one too. So it's right to keep hitting this way. Wait. Did you see that? I entered her backyard. The rain gave me a terrible sense of foreboding. It chilled me through my clothes. I was expectant, but also afraid. Did you see that blood out there? I never did fix this gate. It was stuck. I needed to press on. There was no turning back at that point. What the fuck? I thought I saw blood on the front of our gate. I held my breath as I approached my backyard. I was terrified to step inside. Our fucking house. The house was painfully quiet. The only sound was my own breathing, ragged and strained. I flicked the light switch by the door. The power was off. Of course it is. The table was clean. It hadn't been used any time recently. The door to the basement. It was locked. Where had I put the damned key? Check upstairs. I have a bad feeling about this. You have a 3-story house? Holy shit. I want a 3-story house. An old photo of Rachel and I stared back at me, reminding me of better times. It didn't make me feel terribly comfortable. Did I keep it anyway? I replaced the photo in my wallet, feeling like I had got part of my life back. Still, the image made me wheezy. Why had I thrown it away? Our television. I'd purchased it before I knew I was going to lose my job. I felt pretty guilty about it afterward, but by then it was too late. Your living room is on the 2nd story. Jeez. I want a 3-story fucking house. Awesome. There's an old-fashioned keyhole. Gotta find 2 keys. Or 1, depending on how this house is. The books there were half mine, half Rachel's. Hey, now that I looked more closely, it looked like that man in that house had seen some of the same books as I did. Huh. There was a suitcase on the bed. It was Rachel's. I remembered it from that trip we took out west. I opened the suitcase. I wasn't sure what to make of the suitcase's contents. Some of the few days worth of clothes, some toiletries, and a train ticket? Where was she planning to go? This wasn't getting me anywhere. She had a train ticket? Huh. She was planning to leave? There wasn't 2 tickets? Oh, it's broken. All the mirror had been smashed. Its pieces shattered around the floor. I have a bad feeling we're gonna find her in one of these rooms. Our sink, which needed to be replaced. One of the taps always stuck, but I hadn't gotten around to fixing it yet. We were lucky enough to get a house with one of those wonderful old claw-footed bathtubs. Not investigating anything further. Don't want to go there. Maybe in here. What the hell? My laptop had been left on. It only had a tiny bit of power left. The screen was a website about the old water tower. There was a key in the top drawer of my desk. Can I take it? I pocketed the key. It had been running for a while. So I have the key.
Does Papa John's have spaghetti or lasagna?
I don't know.
Is there any way you can look it up online while you're
Later, you know.
Well, later, I want to order something now. And we had something there the other day, but we don't have a menu.
Well, how did you get the number then?
I didn't get the number. Will and his girlfriend did. They told him.
I ripped the bill open and read it. It said something about canceling my credit card due to non-payment. What the hell? The front door was locked from inside. Couldn't go out though. I needed to see if Rachel was here. Fuck. Unlock the basement door. There were old Christmas decorations in the box. The garbage bags were stuffed with old paint cans and supplies. There was a dirty old key here. Yes, take the key. There were old clothes, towels, and other things we obviously hadn't thrown out yet. I had put up this divider wall last summer so we could create a separate room in the basement. I hadn't finished it yet, so the door was stuck and the drywall was poorly installed. I might have been able to break through if I had found something heavy enough. Let's go see what that opens. The grimy key I found in the basement unlocked the door. It looked like the room had been tossed around. The furniture was a mess. Did somebody break in here? There was an old crowbar on the floor. Did I need to take the crowbar? Yes. Lifted the heavy crowbar. I appreciated its weight. She is gonna be in that divider. I just fucking know it. Here we go. The crowbar I found would have been strong enough to bust through that cheap wall. Did I break through the wall with the crowbar? Yes. With a heave, I swung the crowbar at the wall. I smashed a hole large enough to step through. As I stepped through the broken wall, my breath caught my throat. This was it. Is Rachel down here? Is she okay? Don't look. What the hell? Oh no, oh no. Don't look. Don't look. I felt like a pile of rags had been dumped in the corner. The stench of them was awful and made my eyes water. I was terrified to even touch the pile and see what lay within, but I knew I had to. I had come this far. After all the searching, after all I had seen, when I looked within the rags, did I finally find my Rachel? You did. Oh no! My hands trembled as I pulled back layers of cloth. There at the center, under all the dirt and mess, was my beloved, my Rachel. Her arms were bruised all over and slashed repeatedly. Her clothes were ripped and torn. Even through all that sickening blood, it was obvious she had been stabbed to death. The knife I had carried all this way suddenly seemed like a poison. What had happened to Rachel? Who did this to you? I thought about all I had seen and wondered if any of it could help me figure out who had done this. When I couldn't stay there any longer, I stepped away on shaky legs and made my way back upstairs. Reluctantly exhausted from my journey, I could no longer resist the urge to close my eyes. It's my wallet. With its contents intact. Either I dropped that stuff or somebody else did. Maybe I was sleepwalking again. Maybe somebody stole it from me. Norman's store, that forest, that water tower. Was I at those places before? Yes, you were. I didn't see how it could have happened any other way. I must have been the one to lose my wallet and its contents. But what does that mean? That was decided. I think I know what happened. This was that old photo of that old man's wife, I assumed. I found it in that house. I recalled those faded remains I'd found deep underneath his house. What had he done there? Well, what did I think? Was that man involved in this whole mess somehow? No, he wasn't. I wasn't sure, but the poor old bastard was good and dead. He was a victim, not a criminal. It was the key card I found in the factory, the one that allowed me to slip through that door. It seemed to me that it was probably Norman's. But if that was true, what was he doing back at the plant? Did I think Norman was going back to the factory? No. No, somebody else was using that locker room. But who? The laptop had finally run out of power. Is this where we come to our conclusions? The reflection in that grimy glass was only a shadow, a whisper. I still love the old-time charm of that claw-footed bathtub, though it seemed like cold comfort then. So we gotta find the stuff that's around the house? From now on, I'd have no one to get angry with me for stupid things like buying this TV. Anything else? Lying around? My old office safe sat on the floor. I used to keep tax record and other important documents in it. I used a digital passcode lock. I tried to open it. I don't know the code. I didn't think it was important at the time. Huh. No, that wasn't it. Damn, I couldn't remember. A leaf through the notebook I had taken from the forest. In it were the names that had been written down. Rachel. Those poor girls, were they victims of the same person who had killed Rachel? I wonder what happened to the other names on that list. Or the ones scratched out on that desk in those wet tunnels. It seemed like I had seen all there was. Maybe, I thought, I was ready to go back into the basement. I guess I was ready to face the truth now. I couldn't go back into that room again. I needed to put an end to this situation one way or another. What? Oh, it was the knife I had found in the sewers. Left it here because I didn't want it near me anymore. Was all this my fault? Was I responsible for Rachel's death? I was guilty. I could take this to a warm, safe place and do something about it. Did I pick up the knife? No, suicide is not the answer. No. There were other means of dealing with this. Tell me I have to pick up the knife. The mail still sat there, heaped on the floor. How long had Rachel been lying in the basement? That was it. With Rachel gone, I couldn't stand to be in that house in a moment longer. Did I leave and say goodbye to that nightmare forever? Since I had arrived in town, things had been difficult. Working in the plant, though, had been good for me. It kept me in line, gave me something to do. It helped me get away from my past. When the factory closed, everything changed. That was when I started sleepwalking, disappearing for hours at a time. Drinking was probably just a way to deal with that. It was almost as if I was trying to beat my brain at its own game. Things stopped making sense some time after that. Memories of what happened are still in flux. But I know Rachel had tried. I know she had tried to be there for me, even when everything was falling apart. This night had unearthed terrible truths. I knew it was the final act of a long-standing horror I'd been living. Waking up in that house tonight was the final cruelty. I wish I had remained unconscious in that room forever. I wasn't sure what had happened to the other man I had found in that house. He seemed to me more a victim. But what was his role in all this? Whatever had happened, I knew at least that Norman wasn't the one who kept going back to that factory. I hoped it meant he had nothing to do with that guard's violent end. But who had been rooting through those lockers, or drinking in that boarded-up house? I had to catch my breath to take it all in. Up until the factory, things had only gotten worse. But then I'd seen something even I wouldn't have expected when I went to Norman's store. That's when my perspective on all this really started to change. Poor Norman was dead, but I had no idea what happened to him. But as painful as all that was, oh God, I couldn't bear to think about it again. For all I had done and seen, finally coming home was supposed to be the end of this entire ordeal. God help me, though. It was only the beginning. As I swung open the door and stepped out into the air, I caught the scent of wet grass and fog. Rachel. My beautiful wife. Just the thought of her again, cold and inert, shook me from head to toe. What would I do now? Who could I turn to? It would be a matter of time before the police got involved, before the neighbors knew. The front line was soft and giving beneath my feet, and I couldn't shake the urge that I shouldn't stand there, but rather that I should run. Thus ends one of the endings for Home. I think we were the killer all along. Then again, this entire game, this is left up to your subjective. That's the whole point of it. That was a pretty good game. Worth every single penny of that $2 I paid for it. Home is dedicated to my wife Nancy. Watch your back. Surprised there's no jump scares or anything. It was all story. The end. Share your story at homehorror.com. What happened? Oh, cool. I'll be sure to check that out later. Something else can happen? No. So, what did you guys think of the game? Anyone?